Have you ever noticed how some people wake up with absolute control over their minds, while others lose the battle before the day even begins? Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, and watch until the very end. Because these 5 Stoic morning lines are not just words, they are mental weapons, and if you repeat them every morning, they can change the way people see you, the way you handle pressure, and even the way you experience love, discipline, and success in life. Marcus Aurelius once wrote that the quality of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And every morning, before the world speaks to you, your mind speaks first. Most people wake up already defeated. They check their phone. They compare themselves to others. They remember their fears, their failures, their loneliness. And without realizing it, they poison their own day before it even starts. But the Stoics believed something different. They believed the morning is sacred, because the first thoughts you allow into your mind become the direction of your entire life. There's an old story about Marcus Aurelius. Despite being the most powerful man in Rome, he often struggled internally. He dealt with betrayal, war, stress, pressure, and constant criticism. Yet every morning, before ruling an empire, he would prepare his mind like a warrior sharpening his sword. He understood one thing most people never learn. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits, and your morning thoughts are habits. That is why today you're going to learn 5 Stoic morning lines you must say every single day. Not casually, not without emotion, but with conviction, with presence, with discipline. These lines are simple, but powerful enough to reprogram your mind. And the deeper you go into this video, the more you'll realize that success is not about luck. It is about mental control. The first line is this: I control my mind. Nothing outside me controls my peace. Most people surrender their peace too easily. One rude message ruins their mood. One rejection destroys their confidence. One bad opinion changes their entire day. Marcus Aurelius warned against this weakness. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Think about how powerful that really is. Imagine waking up tomorrow and deciding that no matter what happens, your inner peace will remain untouched. Traffic, delays, disrespect, criticism, rejection, none of it controls you anymore. Because the Stoic understands something dangerous. External chaos only becomes internal chaos if you allow it. There's a story about a young man who visited a Stoic teacher. He complained constantly about people disrespecting him, ignoring him, and making his life miserable. The teacher listened quietly. Then he handed the young man a cup full of water and told him to walk through the village without spilling it. The young man focused so intensely on the cup that he ignored every distraction around him. When he returned, the teacher asked, "Did you hear the insults from the crowd?" The young man said no. The teacher smiled. When your purpose is clear, distractions lose their power. That is Stoicism. Every morning when you say, "I control my mind. Nothing outside me controls my peace," you're reminding yourself that your emotions belong to you, not the world. And suddenly you stop reacting like everyone else. You become calm, focused, dangerously disciplined. The second morning line is this: today, I will welcome difficulty, because struggle makes me stronger. This is where most people fail. They want comfort, easy days, easy relationships, easy success. But Marcus Aurelius believed comfort weakens the soul. The Stoics trained themselves to expect hardship, not because they were pessimistic, but because they understood reality. Life will test you. People will disappoint you. Some mornings you will feel exhausted. Some days you will doubt yourself. But every challenge carries an opportunity to become stronger. Think about iron. Iron becomes steel only after surviving fire, and people are no different. There's a reason disciplined people seem unbreakable. It's because pain trained them. The breakup trained them. The loneliness trained them. The failures trained them. While others were escaping discomfort, they were growing through it. Marcus Aurelius once woke before sunrise to perform duties he hated. He was tired constantly. Yet he reminded himself, what were you born for? Comfort or action? That question still matters today. Every morning when you repeat, today I will welcome difficulty because struggle makes me stronger. You stop seeing problems as punishment. You start seeing them as training, and that shift changes everything because weak minds ask, why is this happening to me? Strong minds ask, what is this teaching me? The third morning line is one of the most powerful. I will not chase approval. I will respect myself first. This line alone can transform your life. Most people are addicted to approval. They change themselves to impress others. They fear rejection more than dishonor. They silence their true thoughts just to fit in, and because of that, they lose themselves. Marcus Aurelius warned about this trap constantly. He understood how dangerous it is to live for applause, because when your happiness depends on others, you become their prisoner. Think about modern life. People post for validation. Dress for validation. Speak for validation. Even love for validation. But Stoicism teaches something radical. Your value does not increase because someone notices you. Real confidence is quiet. It does not beg. It does not chase. It does not perform. There's an old story about a philosopher who was mocked publicly for wearing simple clothes. The crowd laughed at him expecting anger or shame, but the philosopher simply smiled and said, if your respect depends on fabric, your mind is poorer than mine. That confidence terrified people. Why? Because nothing is more powerful than someone who no longer needs approval. And strangely enough, when you stop chasing validation, people respect you more. Because desperation pushes people away. But self-respect attracts attention naturally. Every morning repeat, I will not chase approval. I will respect myself first. And slowly, your life changes. You stop begging for love. You stop fearing opinions. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. You become emotionally free. The fourth Stoic morning line is this: I will act with discipline even when I do not feel motivated. This is where true transformation begins. Motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you feel powerful. Other mornings you feel lazy, tired, distracted, and empty. The average person obeys emotions. If they feel good, they work. If they feel bad, they quit. But the Stoics believed discipline is superior to emotion. Marcus Aurelius himself struggled with getting out of bed. In his writings, he described fighting the temptation to stay comfortable under warm blankets. But then he reminded himself, you have duties as a human being. That's powerful. Because discipline means doing what must be done, even when your feelings resist it. Think about athletes. They train when tired. Writers write when uninspired. Warriors prepare even during fear. That is why they become exceptional, not because they always feel motivated, but because they act anyway. There's a hidden truth most people never realize. Your future is created on the days you do not feel like trying. Anyone can work hard when inspired. But disciplined people continue when the excitement disappears, and that is what separates winners from dreamers. Every morning when you say, I will act with discipline even when I do not feel motivated, you are training your mind to obey purpose instead of emotion. That single habit can change your finances, your body, your relationships, and your entire future, because success is rarely dramatic. It's built quietly, through repeated disciplined actions. The fifth and final morning line is perhaps the deepest of them all. Today could be my last day, so I will live with courage and purpose. Most people avoid thinking about death. The Stoics did the opposite. Not because they were negative, but because they understood something liberating. When you remember life is temporary, fear loses power. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that death could come at any moment. And instead of making him anxious, it made him focused, because suddenly, meaningless worries disappear. You stop delaying your dreams. You stop wasting time proving yourself to people who do not care. You stop holding back your true voice. A man once asked a Stoic philosopher, "How can I stop fearing life?" The philosopher replied, "By remembering you cannot keep it forever." That answer changed him, because mortality creates clarity. Imagine waking up every morning knowing this day matters. Not someday, not next year, today. How differently would you speak? How differently would you love? How differently would you work? Most people live as if they have unlimited tomorrows. That is why they waste today. But the Stoics understood that urgency creates greatness. Every morning, when you repeat, "Today could be my last day, so I will live with courage and purpose," you awaken something powerful inside yourself. You stop procrastinating. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You stop fearing judgment. And you finally begin living intentionally. Now think about these 5 lines together. I control my mind. Nothing outside me controls my peace. Today, I will welcome difficulty because struggle makes me stronger. I will not chase approval. I will respect myself first. I will act with discipline even when I do not feel motivated. Today could be my last day, so I will live with courage and purpose. These are not just quotes. They are a mental armor. Imagine repeating them every morning for 30 days. Your thinking changes. Your energy changes. Your confidence changes. People begin noticing something different about you, not because you became louder, but because you became stronger internally. And that's the secret Stoicism teaches. The strongest people are not those who control others. They are the ones who control themselves. Most people spend their lives trying to change the world around them while remaining slaves to their own emotions. But once you master your mornings, you begin mastering your life. Because mornings shape momentum, and momentum shapes destiny. The Stoics knew this thousands of years ago. While others searched for pleasure, they searched for inner power. That is why their wisdom still survives today. Not because it sounds beautiful, but because it works. So tomorrow morning, before touching your phone, before listening to the noise of the world, sit quietly for a moment. Repeat these lines slowly. Feel them. Let them sink into your mind. And over time, you'll notice something strange happening. You become calmer during chaos, more focused during pressure, more disciplined during temptation, more confident during rejection, not because life became easier, but because you became stronger. And once the mind becomes strong, the world loses its ability to control you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.